No! No, no, no! Malachi! Malachi, wake up! Something is moving.
I told you everything has a price, Kundai. Did you think the gold was free?
Help me! Tete Rudo! Tete Rudo! Mama! Please.
But how did she get here? Listen, I'll tell you.
Kundai, Cuckoo, the sun is high. The other girls have already passed the gate on their way to school. Get up and wash your face.
Go away, Mama. I'm tired.
Tired? The sun is high and you are still hiding under the blankets. Come, education is the only bridge to a better life.
I don't want your bridges, Mama. I want to sleep. Is that a crime in this house?
Child, you will destroy yourself with this laziness.
My Chiedza, leave the girl alone. Why are you always fighting with her?
Because she refuses to go to school, Tinashe. Because she sits in that bed like a stone while the world passes by.
Let her rest, my love. Cuckoo is tired. She is a delicate flower. The world can wait for her.
Thank you, Baba.
In the valley of Nyati, where the mountains hold the secrets of their ancestors, lived a girl named Kundai. She was the only fruit of her parents' vine, born into a love so thick it became a poison. Her father, Sekuru Tinashe, had declared the moment she took her first breath that her feet should never touch the rough thorns of this earth. While other children walked to school before the sun had wiped the sleep from its eyes, Kundai slept. While they worked in fields and learned their duties, Kundai dreamed of a life she hadn't earned.
Kunda, will you say hello to your elders? I don't greet people who smell like fish.
As she grew, Kundai became the terror of the Nyati markets. She would walk past the elders without a word of greeting, her chin held so high she could see the clouds. Rumors soared like dust devils.
That girl will bring shame to her family. Mark my words.
When the villagers came to Sekuru Tinashe to complain, he would simply smile, reach into his worn leather pouch, and pay for whatever was broken. He bought her silence, and in doing so, he bought her destruction. Tragedy does not announce itself, it simply arrives. One Tuesday, under a sky that looked like bruised plums, Sekuru Tinashe climbed the great Nchakata tree at the edge of the forest. He sought the sweetest haja to please his daughter's palate. He was still thinking of her, still trying to fill the hunger in her heart with the things she desired.
Baba, you can't leave me. Who will give me what I need?
Listen to how she cries. She cries for her lost comforts, not for the man's soul.
My husband, my pillar has fallen.
death is a quiet roommate. Once the wailing stopped and the funeral pots were washed, silence moved into the house. The kind of silence that speaks louder than screams. The laughter died with the money. The fine clothes Kundai once wore began to fray at the seams. The meals shrank until there was only one bowl of watery porridge to share between them. Mai Chia's hands grew cracked as she worked double shifts in the maize fields. But Kundai remained a statue of arrogance. She refused to touch the hoe. She refused to sweep the house. Instead, she spent her days wandering the village square, looking at the other girls with an envy that burned like acid.
Kundai, I have made a decision. I cannot watch you rot in this village. I will send you to the city.
The city? Really?
You'll live with Tete Rudo. She is strict, but wise. She will teach you to work.
The city has lights, doesn't it, Mama? And people dress beautifully there?
Kuku, the city is a trap. It has lights, but those lights can blind you. Promise you will listen to Tete.
I promise, Mama.
Kuku. Oh, my child. I hope the city is kinder to you than you are to yourself.
The journey to the city was a long descent into noise and neon. Kundai watched the dust of Nyati fade behind her, and she felt no sadness. She felt only hunger. Hunger for the life she believed was waiting for her. When they arrived at Tete Rudo's house, the air smelled of diesel and frying oil. The gate was rusty, but the yard was swept so clean you could see your reflection in the dirt. Standing at the gate was a woman with eyes like sharp needles, Tete Rudo.
So, this is the girl who refused to work in Nyati. The one who made her mother weep. I am here to learn, Tete. Yes, you will learn. This city has many teachers, and not all of them are kind.
But Kundai did not hear the warning in Tete Rudo's words. She was too busy looking past the rusty gates, past the saloon, past the humble houses, looking towards the bright lights of the city, calling her name. In 3 days, she would meet a man named Malachi, and in 3 months, she would understand what her mother meant when she spoke of traps. But by then, it would be too late. She didn't know that the city had been waiting for her, that it had heard her prayers of escape, that it feeds on girls like this.
This is your room. You will sleep here. Wash basin is outside.
This is it? I thought it was supposed to be nicer than this. This is smaller than my father's storage room.
What are you saying, Kundai? You slept in a cramped room back in Nyati, and now you complain about a bed?
That's different. I'm in the city now. You're supposed to have what?
A palace? Your father left you broke in Nyati, and now you complain about a bed?
My father gave me everything. He didn't make me walk like a... And look where that got you. Your father's love destroyed you. My discipline will save you, if you let me. I won't be here long.
I know.
This was the moment the die was cast. Tete saw Kundai's future written in her eyes. Defiance, hunger, and a willingness to risk everything for what glittered. She will try to save her, but some girls are determined to learn the hard way.
You will work in my salon every day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You will learn to braid hair, treat scalps, manage customers.
She had imagined the city as a place of possibilities. Instead, she found herself in a small room, smaller than her father's storage shed. The city she imagined and the city she found were not the same.
No friends from the streets. No boys. No drinking. No late nights at bars. You wake at 5, sleep at 9. Half your wages go to your mother. The rest you save.
Do you understand me, Kundai?
Yes, Tete, I understand.
Every word from Tete Rudo was a chain. Kundai had run from one prison only to walk into another. But unlike her father, Tete did not soften her voice with love. She spoke only truth.
I love it, thank you. Are you serious?
The salon was relentless. Hair, scalp, hands, back, everything ached. Kundai, who had never worked a day in her life, learned what her mother's hands knew: the price of survival. Days blurred into nights. She learned to smile at customers while her feet burned. And with each story of city life, her hunger grew.
Kundai, come with us tonight. There's a bar down the street. Music, drinks, boys who actually know how to talk.
Tete said no going out at night.
Tete says a lot of things. When does she sleep? 9 p.m. We'll be back by midnight. She'll never know.
The whisper of freedom was louder than Tete's voice. It always is.
Welcome to the real city, Kundai. This is freedom incarnate.
Where are you from, beautiful?
Nyati, a village. I just arrived.
Well, welcome to real life. You're a long way from the village now.
We're here to show you around.
For the first time since leaving Nyati, Kundai felt seen. In her father's house, she was a princess. In Tete's house, she was a servant. Here, she was a woman, desired, wanted, free.
So, you smell like a club, like cheap bottles and cheaper decisions. Those boys don't want you. They want what's between your legs. Then you'll be nothing.
You don't know them! You just work and tell me what I can't do.
I know exactly what happens to girls like you. Remember, your mother didn't send you here to become a whore. This is the only language the city understands. Pain. Consequence. Wake up before it's too late.
I hate you. I hate this house. I hate this life.
Excuse me. What's your name?
I'm not interested in.
I asked your name, not your intentions. I'm Malachi. And you are?
Kundai.
Kundai. Beautiful name. You're not from here. The villages still have something the city has lost. Authenticity.
Open it.
I can't accept this. This is too much.
A girl like you should have nice things. In Nyati, do they have these? I want to show you something. My home. Unless you're afraid?
He was asking her to choose. To choose him over safety. To choose luxury over love. To choose the lie that felt good over the truth that hurt. And Kundai, exhausted by work and discipline and warnings, made her choice.
I know men like him. They love your youth. But when your beauty fades, they move on. And you'll be left with nothing.
Kundai, please, he's not who you think he is. No, I want you to leave. But you've made your choice. Go! When you understand, when the city finally teaches you, remember, I tried to save you.
She didn't hear the truth in his voice. She only heard the promise. And so she crossed the threshold into the gilded cage. The door closed behind her, and everything was about to change. But a cage, no matter how beautiful, is still a cage. And the price of the gilded cage is always paid in flesh and blood and tears.
This is real silk? Everything is so beautiful.
Good. She's perfect. Look at everything below us. It's all ours. This was made for you. I want everyone to see you wearing it.
At first, it seemed like things were going really good. But soon she was going to find out the type of cage that she had walked into.
Sleep well?
Yes, better than I ever have.
Good. That is what matters.
Everything is beautiful, Malachi. I do not know how to thank you.
You do not need to thank me. You just need to understand the arrangement.
Arrangement?
You are here because I chose you. That choice comes with conditions. You follow them, everything stays beautiful. You do not, things change.
She thought she'd escaped. She thought the city would reward her beauty. But she was still in a cage, just a prettier one. And the bars were invisible until she tried to leave.
This is the kitchen. You do not cook. I have someone for that.
Do not touch anything. Understood.
In here, you will sit, smile, and look beautiful when I have guests.
No speaking. Yes.
This is my study. The door stays locked. You never enter here. Understand?
I understand.
And upstairs, 3 rooms, locked, or my business.
You do not try or go near them. I will not.
A man who tells you he's protecting you from danger is telling you that you can't trust him. But Kundai didn't hear that. She only heard that he cared enough to protect her.
Just one call. She won't even know I'm here. Just to hear her voice.
Who are you calling?
I was just going to check on my mother. See if...
No, you are not.
What? Malachi, I just want to...
Your mother and Tete Rudo are gone. They don't exist for you anymore.
The cage doesn't slam shut all at once. It closes slowly. First a room, then another. Then you realize the doors have been locked the whole time and you didn't even notice. Days became weeks. She learned the rhythm of the cage. Wake at 8, shower, get dressed in clothes chosen for her, wait, be beautiful, don't ask questions. At night, he'd come to her, sometimes tender, sometimes demanding. She told herself this was love. She told herself this was the city rewarding her beauty.
What is that?
That night, she heard something. At first, she thought it was her imagination. Then she realized she wasn't alone in this mansion. There was someone else.
Last night I heard something. Upstairs.
It sounded like crying? You were dreaming.
No, I was awake. I heard it clearly. Is someone else living here?
Do not ask stupid questions. Understand?
Yes.
He just told her she was in danger, and she was still too afraid to leave.
I will be gone for hours. Business matters. Do not wait up.
When will you return? The locked rooms. The keys. Just to see. Just to look.
It was in that moment, that smallest moment, that she made the choice that would change everything.
Oh no. No. Get out! You have to get out! How long have you been here? Don't know. He told me he loves me.
In that moment, she understood. This wasn't love. This was predation. And she had walked directly into the mouth of the wolf. She was not special. She was not the first. She was not the last. She was one of many. Every girl in that ledger had believed she was choosing freedom. Every girl had walked into this cage believing it was a palace. And every girl with a red X through her name had disappeared.
I was just...
You were just what?
I was resting. You are home early.
You went upstairs. You saw something you shouldn't have.
No,
I loved her, but she was ungrateful.
Just like you right now.
She thought she'd escaped her father's cage. She thought she had escaped Tete's discipline. She had walked directly into a different kind of cage, one she might never escape.
What have I done?
She had chosen what glittered over what was true. She had chosen luxury over wisdom. She had chosen a man who wanted to own her over people who wanted to free her. And now she understood the price of the gilded cage. It was paid in captivity. It was paid in fear. It was paid in the slow death of everything she used to be.
You were wondering about those who came before you.
What is this?
This is where beauty becomes value. This is where the design completes.
I'm leaving.
You are not leaving. Tonight, you complete what begins.
This was the moment she understood. The glamour she'd been chasing was a trap. The luxury she had wanted was built on bones. And the man she had trusted was something far darker than seduction. He was a hunger dressed in designer clothes.
No! No! Malachi! Malachi, wake up! Something is moving.
I told you everything has a price, Kundai. Did you think the gold was free?
Help me! Tete Rudo! Tete Rudo! Mama! Please.
The ceremony requires willing initiation first. Then the phase becomes different.
When you are no longer needed.
The maggots were not a hallucination. They were a prophecy, a vision of what the ritual demanded, of what happened to girls who sold their beauty to the wrong buyer, of what she would become if she stayed.
How many? 17.
Over 5 years, the alignment is correct.
The preparations are complete.
By dawn, the transformation will be final. You are more beautiful now than before. Especially now.
17 girls, 17 entries in his ledger, 17 lives reduced to dates and amounts of money. And now she understood. She was not his girlfriend. She was inventory. She was a transaction waiting to be completed.
Stay back!
What will you do, burn my house? I have documentation, insurance, protection. You just made a critical error.
Help! Somebody help!
In that moment, something shifted. She stopped being afraid. She stopped being prey. The village girl her mother raised, the one who knew how to survive, came back, and she chose fire.
Tete. It is me, Kundai. Please listen. Hello? Tete, I don't know this address, but it's a huge mansion on a hill with a black gate. He is going to... I am coming.
Tete Rudo had been waiting for this call. Not this exact call, but this moment. The moment Kundai would finally understand that the woman she hated was the only person in the city who could save her. And Tete would not hesitate.
Kundai, you cannot leave. The ceremony requires you. It won't hurt.
He searched for her like a man looking for his keys. Casual, confident, certain that she would be where he wanted her to be. He had never had a girl fight back. He had never had to hunt. That was his weakness. And she knew it.
I found her. I am coming to get you. Be ready.
I am ready.
Tete and my Kundai did not need to speak. They had both lived long enough to recognize evil. They had both lost enough to know what was happening, and they both understood. This was the moment they'd been preparing for since Kundai left Nyati.
When we arrive, you go inside. I am taking my daughter home.
The city streets blurred beneath them. Tete drove with purpose. My Kundai sits silent, her hand on the door, ready. Two women moving towards danger because a girl they loved was drowning. This was not rescue. This was reclamation.
Kundai!
She held her breath. She held her life in the space between heartbeats. And then, a sound. The front door crashed open. Authority, hope. The moment everything stopped being about her alone and became about the women who refused to let her disappear.
Tete, I can explain.
It's over. We know everything.
Malachi's mask cracked. For the first time, he understood. He was not untouchable. His magic was not stronger than a mother's love. His ritual was no match for a woman who had already survived.
Come,
Mama.
we are going home. Not now, later we talk.
She was found, not by force, not by rescue teams or lawyers or luck. She was found because her mother came looking, because her aunt never stopped watching, because the women in her life chose her over fear.
She is safe now. Are you safe, my daughter?
I do not know.
Safety was not a destination. It was not a place you arrived at and stayed. It was a process. A slow return to your body. A slow belief that you might survive what almost destroyed you. And it required witnesses. It required love.
You're back home, my child.
The price of the Gilded Cage was high, but her mother's love was higher still. And in the end, that's the only currency that ever truly mattered. She was home, scarred but alive, changed but whole, and surrounded by the women who refused to let the world take her.